Hello everybody, what is going on? It's Jimmy here, back with another video. Today, my friends, we have some amazing news I'd like to get into, so without any further ado, let's get into it. So guys, there's some new news regarding the new Nintendo Switch. Most people are now assuming it is not going to be a Switch Pro, it is going to be a Switch 2, some type of successor. It is too late in the console life cycle for me to expect this to be a Switch Pro. If this would have came out in 2019, 2018, that would have made sense. But 2018 probably really wouldn't have made sense because it was only 1 year after the Switch. So I guess 2019 would have pretty much been the only year this would have worked. I guess at this point you could release it, but it is a little bit late, guys. And we know Nintendo, if they follow the pattern that they did with the Wii U, probably won't. But if they do, then they're going to cut off the Switch's life support in a couple years. I mean, they've already pretty much surpassed the Switch in terms of life cycle, pretty close. But the thing is, I highly doubt they're going to keep it for any longer than 5-6 years, guys, because Nintendo's been proving lately that they want to cut to the chase, get to the next thing before the thing they already have starts falling apart, guys. And that's the thing that I think they're forgetting here. The Switch is not falling apart, and by making a Switch Pro 4K Switch, yes, it would be absolutely amazing, make people go bonkers. Everyone would want one. But the catch is will it have the games that the original Switch did? Because if it doesn't, people are going to continue to buy a Switch. There's going to be no incentive to upgrade your Switch to the Switch 2 or the successor to the Switch, whatever it's going to be. You know, honestly, there's going to be no reason to do so if Breath of the Wild 2 is playing on a Nintendo Switch, if Metroid Prime 4 is playing on a Nintendo Switch, if these games come out and they're on a Switch, if Pikmin 5 is playing on a Switch, if Mario Kart 9 is playing on a Switch, if these games all play on a Switch and not just the Switch 2, they do both, then it's going to be very hard to sell this to anyone who doesn't mind just playing with worse graphics. It's going to be like a Series S and a Series X scenario, and you see how well that's working out for Microsoft. Now, there's no confirmation yet what's going on with that, but let's be realistic. Let's look at the sales, guys, that are projected to happen for this console. It is not supposedly going to be a good sales launch. Now, I'm going to read you guys what someone from Bloomberg had to say, a representative for them. This is what he said. They claim that the Nintendo Switch is looking for greater compute power and 4K graphics for a Nintendo Switch successor. If the Switch Pro is indeed 4K capable, it raises a number of new questions. So what SoC will Nintendo utilize in developing a playable 4K experience? Now, it's not going to be a Switch Pro. It's going to be a Switch 2. But I'll continue, guys. If Nintendo continues to rely on NVIDIA for Switch hardware, the only real option is the NVIDIA Tegra Xavier. Xavier powers a model of NVIDIA Jetson AGX developer kits, but hasn't seen much use outside of that. The SoC features 8 custom Caramel ARM chips together with 512 CUDA-Core Volta GPU that delivers 1.4 teraflops of compute performance. I'm going to stop there, guys, and I'm going to go over what that means. So the Xavier, guys, the chip is so much more powerful than the regular base Tegra that's inside the Switch Lite in the Switch right now. It isn't even funny how much more powerful it is. Honestly, I am so excited for this, guys, because if this does end up being real, it will be like having an Xbox One, an Xbox One S, a PS4, a PS4 Slim. It'll be any of those in your pocket, guys. Do you know how amazing that would be? That would be absolutely breathtaking, and who cares if it is 4K? They're saying that it's reporting that they're trying to go for 4K. I don't see this happening with 1.4 teraflops of power. To me, that's just not enough, guys, and I really don't think that. I feel like you got to be at like 5 to even try to output 4K. The PS5 is apparently having trouble with 9, so I'm going to say at the minimum, because Nintendo games are usually more compressed and everything, I'm going to say you probably need at least 5 to 6 teraflops to even try to consider running a game at 4K, but the idea of running a game at 4K with 1.4 teraflops, it just seems completely unrealistic to me, even with all the added power. Now, it has double the CUDA cores, and the thing is with that is that developers are going to absolutely love that. 8 cores instead of 4. These things are absolutely amazing, and I will be so excited. The rumor is, and it's not in this, but the rumor is that it's also going to have 16 gigabytes of RAM. This thing sounds like it'll be an absolute beast in your pocket. And when the Switch came out, it was actually considered pretty powerful for the timing. 2017, it was not considered godly by any means, but under the same token, it was not considered massively underpowered or, you know, just like something terrible. Compared to the Xbox One and PlayStation 4, it was a little bit more powerful than last gen, and I feel like that's what they're going to do this time. They're going to make it a little bit more powerful than last gen, so it's going to be like having a PS4 and a little bit of power in your pocket versus the PS5 or an Xbox Series S in your pocket or an Xbox One X in your pocket, something like that, guys. I could totally see that happening, but honestly, we do not know yet, and I'm praying to God that Breath of the Wild 2 does hold off, because assuming that Breath of the Wild 2 does actually end up coming out this year or next year, there's been more and more listings going up, guys. I have no reason not to believe that we're getting it either at the end of this year or early next year. If that does happen, if we get it March 2021 and there is no Switch 2, that's going to be very sad for the Switch 2, because what games is it going to play? What market are they going to target the Switch 2 at? I don't want to see a Wii U Part 2, and I feel like this is something that could completely happen, and call me crazy, but I really do think that Nintendo, with the amount they've been selling, could still fail, guys. It is not impossible for Nintendo to fail out and, make a console that sells 13 million again. I think it is a complete possibility, and people like to pretend that Nintendo is far away, but that Nintendo is less than 10 years old, guys. And the thing is, Nintendo is on top of things right now, and I don't want to see them fall off of that, because I know how bad that would be for games too. The Wii U got like hardly any good games. It got some good games, but let's be honest here, compared to the Switch, not even close. It's not even close. The amount of third-party support the Switch has got is not amazing. It's not life-changing, guys, but we have BioShock. We have games, guys. Doom 2016. There is games. We got Doom Eternal guaranteed, but that needs to come out soon. But honestly, the thing is that we need to make sure that this Switch 2, or whatever they're going to call it. I don't think it should be a Switch Pro. I really don't. It's too late in the console cycle. But if it is a Switch Pro, we need to make sure that this thing does sell well. And I feel like the only way they can make sure of that, and we can make sure as a buyer to make sure it sells well, is to buy the games that are good, guys, and support Nintendo. Because if they put out an absolute banger of a console, I don't want to see it fail again. And honestly, I see that as a totally possible thing to happen. And I'm hoping that it does not happen, guys, because the Nintendo army is stronger than ever. I just finished Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. I ordered Xenoblade Chronicles 2. The genius in that game is amazing, but it does not make up for the fact that it is a 10-year-old game and there's been a lack of games this year. But if this is all true, then that makes up for the lack of games, and no longer am I depressed about not having anything to play, because I know something amazing is coming, guys. So if you guys are excited for this, don't forget to drop me a like, comment, tell me what you think about these recent rumors, leaks, speculation, whatever you want to call it. Tell me what you guys think about it, and I'll be seeing you guys in the following videos. Thank you for your support. Jimmy out of here. Thanks again.